Hey everyone, welcome to the Reddit branch. Today we have interesting stories from Reddit that I would love to hear your opinion about. So feel free to let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for content like this every day. First story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my brother out? My 23 female brother, almost 22, has been staying with me, rent-free, for the last 7 months. The circumstances of him moving in with me are not COVID or money related. He has been working through almost the entire pandemic. Initially, it was only supposed to be for a couple of months, which extended to a couple more months because he wanted to buy a car. He asked me beforehand and I had no problem with that. But now he's been here for longer than initially intended. And most of the money he was supposed to have saved up for moving was poured into the upgrading the car, which at this point has broken down and is inoperable. By the time he told me about it, he was pretty much broke. So issue number 1 is how he handles his money. What had tipped me over the edge is that he started taking my things without asking. The first one was something worthless, but had immense sentimental value. When I asked if he had seen it, he said that he took it and lost it. Okay, I cried and got over it. The next day, he took my pizza, then he loses his phone and tries to take my iPad. Each time I went off on him about how he never even bothered to say anything and treated my things like they were his. This all was about a month ago. Now he's lost his newly replaced phone again. A couple days ago, I come home to find that my bike is gone. He returns later with the bike, but this is the same exact principle. His excuse was that he couldn't ask me because he didn't have his phone, at which point I say that this means he shouldn't have taken the bike. Right now, he still has no phone, but I told him that when his new one comes in, he needs to leave. Now he's been trying to do chores around the apartment that I always had to ask him to do before, hoping I would change my mind. But I noticed he would do the same thing to my mom to get what he wanted when we were kids. I have learned that most of the circumstances he finds himself in are due to his own poor decisions, and throughout his entire life he's always been dependent on someone else. It's become a burden for me and I'm simply fed up. When he first asked to stay with me, he said I was the last resort, and even now claims he has nowhere to go. But honestly, I just see this as a bunch of burned bridges. Am I the a-hole? People replied in the comments with, "You're not the a-hole. Check the local pawn shops and the Craigslist for your stuff. Kick that parasite out of your life for your mental health's sake. You're not the a-hole. He doesn't help with chores, loses his stuff, and steals yours. Really, no reason to keep him around. He definitely needs to find a better way to manage money. You're not the a-hole. Seems like little bro just turning 16. Siblings still have to respect each other's boundaries." Next story. Am I the a-hole for wanting £10 pay for driving my brother who has a broken leg? It's a male, have been at home for the Easter holidays from university with my brother, 20 male, who has broken his leg. So far, almost every day. I have been doing so much driving for him, picking him up at 5 a.m. and only getting 20 of the £3 I was promised, whilst also driving my own friends to and from their houses and accompanying them during their family drama. I pay for a part of the petrol in the car, so I feel like I'm justified in seeking money where I see fit for the petrol and also my time. Especially considering I'm a university student trying to save as much money as possible. My brother asked me at dinner to drive him, pick up his friend, and drive them both to and from the pub for when they open in the UK tomorrow. I told him I would drive him if I got paid £10 for it, reminding him of all the time I drove him without pay the past few days. He called me selfish and an entitled brat, accusing me of breaking my promise of driving him without pay. I never made such a promise. I told him that I don't owe him anything and that he cannot expect everyone to cater to him without exception, especially considering that I have been very helpful to him regarding his broken leg. He stormed off from the dinner table and my parents scolded me for angering him. I told them that his entitlement tantrum is embarrassing, considering that he's 20 years old and that he does this over everything. He had a tantrum because his bed sheets weren't fitted a few days ago. Later, he came back downstairs and demanded that I pay him for all the times he drove me places before I got my license. Bear in mind he's referring to when he drove me to school and other necessary places, not to shops and friends' houses. And if he asked for pay for driving me from a friend's house, I would have understood. I went into another room and told him to discuss it there because I knew my parents would shout at both of us for arguing. He didn't follow. When I returned, he didn't let me sit on the sofa, claiming I had to pay him. I walked away, saying that I don't want to be around a 20-year-old man-child. I spoke to my friends about it and they say I'm not the a-hole, but my whole family think I am. I feel insane writing this because in my opinion I'm being reasonable, but I just want to make sure because my entire family thinks I'm being difficult. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Edit. I also think I should add that I would be more willing to drive for free if my brother wasn't so entitled. I drove my friends to and from their house during family drama for free because I know they were grateful and we have a great bond. My brother and I do not have a good relationship, and I have explicitly told him that I do not want to be friends with him until he stops behaving like a child and starts treating me respectfully and not throwing tantrums over the smallest of things. People replied in the comments with, "You're not the a-hole, and get paid upfront before leave the driveway or else do not take him anywhere. You're not the a-hole. If you were mostly driving him for necessary and important things, then I would say help him out and maybe cut him a break, but it's not necessary to drive him and his buddies to the pub and then pick them up. Either he needs to pitch in for the gas or find another ride. You're not the a-hole. In my opinion, if he were asking you to drive him to the important things like a doctor appointments or work, then you should do it for free or for the price of the gas. But to the bar, to a friend's house? No." Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling a locksmith to open my roommate's door? I, 34 female, live in a house with 4 other people, 20s to 30s. 2 of them are a married couple, 30 female and male, and the other 2 are 20s females. The following names are all fake. In case there is a legal concern here, we live in LA Country. My housemate Morgan is upset with me for calling a locksmith to open the door to the room of Alex without asking Alex first. I feel that while I definitely jumped too soon without informing everyone first, that I still had a right and reason to, that it was the safer thing to do, and that it is the landlord's fault for creating the situation to begin with, and also Morgan the landlord for not including me in a conversation. I don't think Alex has any fault here. Here's how it happened. Internet frequently goes out, for days at a time. Internet equipment is in Alex's room. Internet is included in my rent, and I work from home. Yesterday, the internet went out. I texted Alex if she would please reset the equipment. She did. Everything was fine for about 10 minutes. In that time, she left for the day. Her room was locked, but the internet tanked again. I told the landlord about the issue, that the internet needed to be serviced, networks that were also going out. I find out much later, like 10 p.m. from Morgan, that Alex had left for 3 weeks and Morgan had asked her to mail her room key to go in and fix the equipment. This morning, I realized, let's just call a locksmith. It's safer for everyone and more efficient. I am an early riser and had it all done by 8 a.m., 24 hours after internet went out. My landlord has never provided information on repair chain of command, just that she's supposed to be alerted to issues, which we all do, and she responds inconsistently. In the past, the landlord has indicated more than once because of her distance that sometimes it makes more sense for us to call someone first than wait for her. So that's what I did. Morgan wagged her finger at me because I didn't have Alex's permission and that she felt Alex would be upset about the door being opened. Morgan then revealed there were several other conversations between her, Alex, and the landlord about the issue, such as that the landlord was going to have her maintenance guys come. If I had known that, I would not have called the Smiths, but the only information I had was use this password and Alex might mail a key. Never was it. I have been in touch with the landlord and she's going to update us. For what it's worth, I understand Morgan's point that Alex would have a boundary here about it. It's reasonable for everyone, especially that also Alex had a specific situation in the past in the house that I had forgotten about. But also sometimes people have to enter each other's space. From my point, I felt like Alex had already given permission to enter by agreeing to mail the key at all, and so I have texted Alex to apologize, but I also feel like Morgan got involved unnecessarily. She kept saying it's not her room, she doesn't want to interfere, yet she did exactly that. For all I know, Alex isn't even upset. Morgan is just assuming and panicking about it. People replied in the comments with, "Everyone sucks. You all need to communicate better," and a simple text from anyone involved could have prevented this. You could have sent everyone a text saying, "Hey guys, I need internet immediately and cannot wait, so I'm just going to call a locksmith now so I don't have to break Alex's door. Reply back if you have a faster idea, but this cannot wait. By the way, get the router placed in a common area or get a spare key from Alex and permission to enter at any time. Being cut off from a utility is nonsense. Everyone sucks. Alex for leaving for 3 weeks knowing that there was a problem and intentionally locking you out of the area that you would need to be in to solve the problem. Morgan for gatekeeping necessary information and you for going in someone's locked room without consent. Access to group utility functioning, including internet, needs to be in a place that anyone can get at without disrupting someone's privacy. This concludes all the stories we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to share your opinions in the comment section down below. Until next time.